So I've been out of town this weekend, somewhat, but I was excited to come home mostly so I could record this video. It's time for me to do my monthly music update, listening update. It's one of my favorite videos I actually make, not gonna lie. It's just fun to go over the stuff I've been listening to, and this is another pretty hefty month. Wrote a lot of stuff down. I've been keeping stuff like in my notes to kind of remember what exactly I was listening to a lot in the earlier in the month. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to going over this. And this month, getting hotter. Not quite hot yet. It's still May, and getting into June now. Hasn't quite reached summer yet. We've been having some summer-like days though, and so a lot of the stuff I've been listening to is somewhat like warm weather music to me, I guess. Somewhat. I mean, some stuff isn't really, could go anytime, but I'll just jump right in saying this is going to go back to the last video I did in this format, as I was listening to Frail Body a lot as well again, and I've just been really digging this new album of theirs, Artificial Bouquet. Really just listening to it like all the time. Like I said, I like to listen to it when I'm laying out in the sun, and just like on a nice sunny afternoon. I don't know, it's just like the music doesn't like exactly fit it, but it just like creates this atmosphere, and I like stuff like that around this time of year. And just like the intensity kind of reminds me of like the intensity of the sun, and I don't know, it's just something about it that's like music like that at this time of year. It reminds me of that. And I've listened to some other stuff within the screamo sphere there, especially the artist called Life, their album Coma Garden, and I've listened to Sue Saloon, Riala. It's one of my favorite screamo albums of all time. I've talked about that before. And I've also been listening to, let me grab the tape real quick. I finally got the tape Soul Glows. First, I guess it's not a full length, but the compilation of the first two albums on this tape here. Really excited to get this. Just really, honestly, solid screamo stuff. This is some of my favorite of their stuff. Is on these two EPs here. So I'm really excited to get this tape, and it's nice red color. I've really been digging listening to this a lot. I've been listening to this tape a lot for sure. It's just like so raw and brutal. Their first stuff they don't sound exactly like this anymore. They sound a little bit more polished, I guess, in a way. I guess I don't know if you'd really call them polished, but they're still raw to an extent. But I just really like the style on this tape, and it really goes with that screamo that I've been going for. So I've been listening to that a lot, and really just forgot how just incredible the first three EPs actually are just really incredible. If you've never listened to them before and you're into like punk and screamo and stuff, really check that shit out. It's really incredible stuff. Also, I've got down here some on the tapes. I picked up the Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. Excited to grab this tape. Just classic punk album. West Coast people, I know you guys know about Dead Kennedys. Just one of my favorite kind of old school hardcore albums. Just really cool band. Really like their stuff. Moving on from there, just gonna pick up this record here. I talked about this actually in a video not recently I made last week. It's Kim Gordon, their new album, The Collective. I've really been, I was listening to it when it first came out, but really just been listening to it this past month, and I had to pick up a copy of it. Just really digging it. Really awesome stuff. Just fun hip hop trap, but it like has this of course this industrial and noise a lot added into it, and it just goes hard, honestly. And I'm kind of salty that the like Bye Bye song is like a TikTok thing. I never get on TikTok, but people tell me it is, and that's why this album's gotten somewhat of attention, I guess. But I still love this album. I love Kim Gordon. I used to be obsessed with Sonic Youth. Still like some Sonic Youth stuff, but it's really cool that she's still making stuff and like putting her modern twist on things into her 70s. Like, it's just pretty cool. Reminds me of the next artist actually I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes actually. So I'll get back to those in a minute. So I've got some more records here I'm going to show up and listening to. But I also want to talk about, so I've been driving a lot still, going to see my girlfriend who lives about an hour away from me at the moment. So a lot of back and forth driving there. So I've been listening to mostly some burn discs that I've had over the years I keep in my car. I'm actually planning on making a video about like the CDs that I keep in my car all the time. Like I have certain burn CDs and like compilation things that I've made that I keep in my car just if I want to listen to something in the car and I can't make up my mind if I want to listen to some other CD. The most prominent one being the artist Pigeon Pit. I've talked about Pigeon Pit a lot. It's just incredible, just folk punk. And their newest album that came out 2022, called Feather River Canyon Blues, had this like alternative like country feeling about it as well. But definitely the first two albums are very folk punk influence, just like storytelling, kind of like Mountain Goats in a way ish, but just better in my opinion. I just really obsessed with the vocals and just the storytelling and just the acoustic guitar, just the way they play it. It's just really just incredible. I love this group. I have the record Feather River Canyon Blues, and I have actually have, I can show this while I'm talking about it. I've got this tape here of Pigeon Pit's their second album. It's kind of more like an EP. It's called Treehouse. It's kind of a it's pretty short. It's only like 6 songs I believe on it, 7 songs. But it's just like super fun listening to that. I just been honestly been listening to their first album a lot, which I'll throw up here. I don't have a actual copy of that album, but that came out in 2015 I believe, and really just been loving just memorizing all the lyrics and just singing along, being able to sing along more to some of the songs. Some of the songs are kind of hard to sing along. The vocals get really fast, and I'm just excited to keep listening to it. It's just very summertime to me too, and really just makes me feel good, and just I love that music just going down the road. Makes me feel so alive, I guess, in a way. So really been listening to them a lot, and I've got that CD I've got compiled of all their music that they've released so far. I've got it on a disc in the car that I've been listening to a lot. The other artists I've talked about on this channel before is Ghost. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's my favorite music of all time, honestly. I really just found it in the past year or two, and it's just like this incredible dark ambient, dungeon synth, dungeon doom. That's what I consider dungeon doom. Just all of the demos. I have 3 discs compiled of the compilations that I think Ancient Meadow Records released back in the day through Bandcamp, and Dark Dungeon Doom Productions has released those as well through their Bandcamp. I would kill to have those tapes. I don't know if they ever really released those on tape, but it looks like they're kind of set up like as tapes, like they would be. I think hopefully they'll press something again eventually, release some tapes for this. It's relics I'd love to have. It's just like some of the best shit I've ever heard in my life. I absolutely love it. I just listen to all of them. I've been listening to the compilation 3 quite a lot, in particular for some reason, and the second one because I've listened to the first compilation so many times, and I still love going back to the first compilation. And I actually have a tape here. It's one of my prized possessions actually of Ghost, and this is the first 2 demos, which are actually probably my favorites and really what got me pretty obsessed with them when that released. And I've talked about this tape on here before too, though. It's the red tape. It's really cool. Honestly, the production on it's so I don't know, it's a little bit too lo-fi. Like the tape just doesn't sound that good in my opinion, but it's still, you can hear it and it sounds good. Just lo-fiing that, but I love all of it, and I've just been listening to them. It's just so nice in the car as well, especially on like a nice morning driving into work. I stayed the night about an hour away, so nice hour drive in, just listening to the ambient music in the morning. Just really, it's just so nice. Just like gives me chills, makes me feel good. Just fucking love it so much. Out of all the dungeon synth, I could just listen to that all the time. I just absolutely love all of those demos. And just if you're really interested in that at all, and just in ambient music, dark ambient, dungeon synth, anything like that, just please check this artist out. I absolutely love them so much. Some of my favorite music of all time. Like I said, I can't emphasize that enough. I just absolutely love it. And another one I want to mention, I've had this compilation in my car that I made back in like 2018 when I really started getting into them. It's a compilation of 3 6 Mafia, and I have I mean, there's like just, it's mostly a lot of the solo artists with some of their like 3 6 Mafia early material from like the underground tapes and stuff that I kind of compiled onto this disc. I've got like stuff from like Gangsta Black, Project Pat, and actually I'll show you this disc here. The Coops to himself. This album actually in particular, Devil's Playground, is one that really actually got me turned on to them in the first place, because of the song Purple Thing. I was listening to a podcast called The Nine Club. I think it's called The Nine Club. Yeah, it's a skateboarding podcast. It's just like this guy, this old professional skateboarders talk to other pros and just go into stories and stuff. And there was a guy from Baker Skateboards. I forgot what his name is, but he's like kind of just like a character within them. But he like had like a part back in the day, and he picked this song, and he was talking about that in the podcast, and it like turned me on to it. And like I watched the part, and I was like, oh shit, this song is sick. I love the style, and so that's what really got me into like 3 6 Mafia. So really love having this album. Just it's really sick, and just there's so many good songs on here. Just Robbers, Smoking on a J, Stash Pot, just Purple Thing, just all that shit. It's just fucking hard, man. Just the whole album just goes hard. I just love the style so much. That horrorcore shit. And but I've got a compilation in the car with a lot of those artists on it, and a lot of songs from that album in particular. Actually, just love listening to that in the car. That was just been pretty fun. It was around, I guess, this time of year that I really got into them too, in the warmer months, so it fits. I also want to talk about, there's 2 artists here that kind of go together for me, as I've been listening to their albums back to back for some reason, even though they're kind of different from each other. The first artist is called Bleach Cross, that I got turned on to fairly recently. They're kind of like a goth band, but they have like some like kind of like more intense vocals and stuff mixed in with their music, which is really kind of intriguing to me, and I've really been enjoying this self-titled full length by them. I'm listening to that quite a lot. I've been into them. They're a sick band. They're supposed to be releasing a split with another artist this year, and so I'm looking forward to that. Bowie's here to say hello, as you see. She's just chilling. It's all good. She's missed me. I've been gone all weekend, so I understand. But the other artist I kind of have been listening to back to back with this is the artist Knock Loose. A lot of people know about, I'm sure, a hardcore band, metalcore kind of thing. Got turned on to the new album. I actually think it's pretty sick. There's some stuff I don't really like about it, but it's kind of been pulling me in and wanting me to listen to it more and more, which is interesting. I don't 100% love the vocals, I guess, and some of the corny parts within the metalcore genre are kind of cringy to an extent, but all around, like, it's still been pulling me in, and I've been wanting to listen to it. So I've been doing that quite often. Moving on to the next part, I found a record label called Eerie Silence, and they've really been intriguing me. It's really this underground, like black metal, like industrial, dark ambient. It kind of reminds me of my friend's record label, Death Eternal, which I'll always put the link down below. I'll talk about that at the end of the video, as I always do too. But really just like sick stuff. It kind of gives me the vibes. There's like probably like maybe like 7 or 8 different like artists on the label, and it seems like it might be one person's kind of thing. I'm not 100% sure about that, as it's just kind of very mysterious in a way. I don't know who it is, and you actually have to buy anything from them, like if you want to buy some physical stuff like tapes and such, which I actually did. I'll get to in a minute. they sorry, Bowie's acting up. She wants to see outside, but where was I going? Yeah, but you have to like there's like a link and it'll take you to just like this page that just has like a listing of just what they have in stock right now, and you have to like email this person to like place your order, and this really is kind of interesting. It's kind of cool, really underground kind of thing going on. But I did pick up this tape from them. It's just kind of like a compilation tape, honestly, of their stuff. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my new setup here and trying to see how I can get these things without being a glare and actually focus on it. And I just trial and error is my new little setup here, but it's pretty sick. Glad I picked this up, and it's got a good like little mix of all the artists that are on the label here. A lot of stuff I've been listening to and was always bringing back to the time of getting into it. But some of the artists I'll mention here, the ones that stick out the most, or just the albums I've listened to the most off of the label. First being Tope. I think it used to be a different name. The group used to go by a different name. The artist used to go by a different name. But there's the albums 2 and 3, like I, and put them up right here. Like I always do. Hear my hand going on fucking crazy and shit, but trying to think and do things at the same time just doesn't work sometimes for me. But just really solid, just like lo-fi black metal. Really just sick. I just been hooked on the sounds. Really sick, and there's like some nice ambient, like eerie ambient noise in with it, and it's sick. I just really been loving that. I've been getting into that sound. I mean, that's just the type of black metal that I like so much. So that's really been pulling me in. And the other artist called Arid, I believe is their name, and their album called Nothing, I believe it came out in 2015, around when the record label was created. I've really been digging this album and listening to that quite a lot. It's really interesting. Just another like kind of like that atmospheric raw black metal sound. The vocals are really interesting. They kind of sound like robotic. It's really interesting and intriguing to me. Not my favorite vocals, I guess, but I still love the music a lot, and they're intriguing enough for me to be pulled into it. And there's another artist called Tinzayade. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'll probably throw it up on the screen there. This album was just really wild. Like the early stuff was mostly just like noise, industrial noise, harsh noise, and now they've kind of just like more just like intense like brutal noise with like death metal and stuff, and just really just yeah, like I think I saw somebody like, for somebody who's listening, wanting to find something that nobody else is like listening to to an extent, like just really just will not appeal to the masses in any way, shape, or form. This is the album, and just the artist in general. And one more artist I wanted to talk about is kind of in the same kind of sphere, kind of like brutal Black Death, I guess I would kind of explain it, just like more just like industrial and like drum machines. It kind of sounds like is called Barbed Tongues of the Black Abyss. It's a sick name, honestly. This is like an album that came out on the record label, and really sick stuff. And that was actually the album that got me interested in this record label and how I found them in the first place. So I was on Bandcamp, and I like follow like the harsh electronics kind of like subgenre kind of thing, so it popped up on my feed under that because there was some harsh electronics mixed in with it on certain songs, and it was really some cool shit, and it really pulled me into this record label, and I got pretty hooked on them. Ended up getting their discography. So if I have the link to my Bandcamp page, usually down in the description, and it's on my page as well, my YouTube page and channel. And so if you're interested in checking them out, go there, and it'll be one of the first like albums that are on there right now, under that record label. So if you're interested in checking them out, I would definitely check them out if you're into shit like that. But on another note, kind of turning the page here a little bit, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite artists of all time, David Bowie. I've been listening to Heroes and listening to Low a lot. These are definitely my favorite David Bowie albums of all time. I love both of these. The first part to the Berlin trilogy. And I just love these albums. This really what got me into more ambient music, and really got me interested in ambient music. And I want to make a video about that, and I probably will do that soon, because I love ambient music so much now, and it's really was just such a progress of me getting into it over the years, and I just really want to talk about that because it's one of my favorite genres ever now. Just makes me feel so intensely about, I don't know, it's just, there's just something so comforting and soothing about it for me. But yeah, I've been listening to those a lot. Again, just been sitting in my new room here, playing my skateboarding games and listening to records and such, and those were two that I've been listening to quite often again. I also want to talk about, I talked about this guy on the last one as well, the last music update, listening updates, Dernier Volante. This album in particular, I've been listening to quite a lot. Devant le Miroir, really military pop sound. Really, it's like core military pop album, I think, is like his early stuff. It's just it's so fun. There's so many great songs on here. It's really just a great atmosphere. So I've really been enjoying listening to this, and I had to pick up this record. So yeah, I wanted to show that off. And one last record I have here. I picked up this Cocteau Twins compilation here. Two of their EPs from like '85, I believe. Like, what is the, yeah, Tiny Dynamite and Echoes in a Shallow Bay. I was really excited to find this at the local record store. My girlfriend actually insisted on buying this for me, which is very nice of her. But like, we were looking at other albums, like, oh, do you want this one more? This one, Cocteau Twins. Like, no fucking question. Like, this is what I want. I didn't even know they made compilations of their EPs, and I've been wanting physical copies of their EPs. So I'm very happy to have this, and these are two really solid EPs, and might have to listen to this later, I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite groups of all time. One more physical thing I kind of want to show up and wanted to come back to. I've talked about this album quite a lot on here as well. It's this album by an artist called Type R. I forget what's the name. It's called No Idols. It's the name of the album. But I picked up this tape quite a while ago. It's in this like sex trance subgenre. It's like a subgenre of hardcore techno that I found on Bandcamp. And this just like really sums that shit up perfectly. So if you're really interested in like techno and stuff like that, really check this out. It's really incredible. It's like some of those electronic sounds that just made me feel so good on that tape, and I love it. It's so good. I might have to listen to that later too. Cocteau Twins and Type R tonight probably is going to be my thing. Maybe some David Bowie. I don't know. I just want to listen to everything, and just like there's not enough hours in the day. But one last artist I wanted to mention, and I'll end out this video, is an artist called Jesu, I think is the name. Jesu, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think he used to be a member, this artist used to be a member of the band Godflesh, the industrial metal band. And he created this project that's very shoegaze influenced, and I've been definitely listening to a bit of shoegaze again. This time of year is that atmosphere. It reminds me of this time of year, and just fits the time of year so well. And I got turned on to this album, in particular the self-titled album. Came out in '05 actually. It's just a really interesting take on just like experimental metal, I guess, post-metal. There's just, the vocals are more like shoegaze kind of, and but there's just like this interesting like industrial kind of sound to it as well, like these industrial sound and like ambient sound on the first track, honestly, and just like you have like these more intense like distorted guitars mixing with this like avant-garde kind of metal sound, and it's really solid. It's really interesting, really been intriguing me. I've listened to it a lot. I don't absolutely love the vocals, once again, something that's like really hard for me sometimes. Like, I'm super picky about vocals. They have to be just right for me, and these just aren't quite there yet. I mean, they might get better as I keep wanting to listen to it. I have been wanting to. I've been being pulled back to it a lot, and I think it's going to keep growing on me more and more. But the instrumentation is incredible. The music itself is incredible. Just trying to get more soul on the actual vocals, I guess. But really solid stuff, interesting stuff. I like stuff like that a lot. But yeah, that kind of sums up this video here. It's pretty long for this video, for a little bit longer than usual, I guess. Probably, I don't know how long it's been going for, but sorry if you don't like longer videos, but I enjoy talking about this and it's been fun. But as always, let me know what you guys have been listening to. I'd like to know what you've been listening to. Tell me down in the comments. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna put up my streaming, like, top 5 artists of the month. Whenever that's released, I'll put that up on my story or something. I like doing that too. It's really interesting. I've been liking that about going back to Apple Music in recent months. And yeah, so let me know what you guys have been listening to, and thanks for watching this video. And I'm going to end it out like I always do. Please support my friends here on the side if you can. Links in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.